I didn't realize that The View was so instrumental in the Fiorina campaign.
Well, you know, Carly was actually on your show a little while ago, and I think that had a lot more to do with it.
Oh, well, thank you. Flattery will definitely get everyone everywhere. I appreciate that. No, and she's going on, is it this Friday that she's going on to the program to face them? How do you think that these women are going to behave when they're actually seated there at the table or on the couches, whatever they're doing, when they're on stage with her? Do you think that you're going to see this same level of aggression towards her in person?
You know, I'd love to tell you that I think they're going to want to talk about the issues, talk about why life is important to Carly, why we think that too much government regulation is crushing the small and the powerless. But no, I don't actually think that. I think that we're going to see liberal feminism at its worst, which is if you're not a woman who believes what we believe, who believes in the litany of the left, then you don't count. You're not a real woman. You're not really one of us. And I think that's what they actually believe, and I think it's concerning. I also think, though, that it's why it will be so important to have a nominee who is fearless like Carly in the general election, because if their nominee is Hillary Clinton, we've already seen what her playbook is. Right. She called Bernie Sanders sexist because he used the word shout.
Yeah, and speaking of Hillary Clinton, I have never seen any of the ladies on The View get as petty, I guess, for the lack of a better way to put it, on Hillary Clinton. They've not gotten any, I mean, they haven't even approached it. They haven't even criticized her policies or said anything other than they just love her.
Well, for what it's worth, I actually went back and looked because I was curious myself. No, of course they haven't. And they would never say something like that to Hillary Clinton because to them, Hillary's about the issues. Hillary's a woman that counts. You and I, Carly, we're not women that count to them because we're conservative.
And that's always kind of what it is. It's that they always have this sort of patent, I guess, on female empowerment. And whenever you have a woman who actually is empowered of her own devices, not because she asked Uncle Sam for money for health care or for birth control or for anything else, but someone who actually, worked and made her own way, that somehow, I don't know if it reminds them of their own inadequacies or dependency on government, but it just seems to, I mean, that's kind of what I take. It's very psychological. What is your thought on this?
I think you really see this around life. They believe that abortion empowers women and that there is no other life involved. And so when they meet someone like Carly, who will go toe-to-toe with anyone on this issue, she feels passionately about it from a policy perspective, but she feels passionately about it from a personal perspective. Her husband's mother had been told to abort him, and she spent a year in the hospital afterward because of her health. And I think that really undermines their worldview in terms of what is feminism, because Carly is a feminist. I mean, I don't want to label you, but I certainly think I'm a feminist. I believe in the equality of women. I think I'm just as good as any man. But I don't think that you have to believe exactly what I believe to do that.
Right, or measure yourself by male standards or paternal standards as well, which is I think what they do. One of the things that I have heard so often said of the Fiorina campaign, particularly, and I heard this a lot after the first Democrat primary debate, when Hillary Clinton was asked, well, what sets you apart? What makes you different from Barack Obama? How are we going to be assured that that your presidency wouldn't be a third term? And her response, as you know, Sarah, was, well, it's, I am a woman. That's the one thing I have never seen Carly Fiorina do. And I don't know if it is very intentional or if it's just something that that's just not something that comes up because it doesn't cross her mind. Give us some insight into that.
It's sort of interesting. Carly gets asked on the trail, well, what is it like to do this as a woman? This being whatever it involves in presidential politics. And her answer is always, I don't know what it would be like to be a man. So I think for Carly, she's been a woman her whole life, and she's gone from secretary to CEO. She's battled cancer. She's lost a child. Her gender is part of who she is, but it doesn't define her life either in terms of what she believes or why she believes it. Carly doesn't want people to vote for her because she's a woman. She wants them to vote for her because she can win the job, beat Hillary Clinton, and she can do the job.